All right, class, time to start a new unit. Unit 3, Parallel and Perpendicular Lines. Today we're going to look at section 3.1, Identifying Pairs of Lines and Angles. You'll be able to identify pairs of angles formed by transversals and lines, and identify parallel and perpendicular lines and the relationships that occur. So first, what are parallel lines? Parallel lines are lines that do not intersect and are coplanar. So if we have a line and another line that do not intersect, they're parallel. They're going to be marked by a little arrow in the middle, showing that they're parallel, that they do not intersect. And they'd also be coplanar. You could draw a plane including those lines. Now skew lines, can't really draw skew lines very well, but they do not intersect and are not coplanar. But they're not parallel. They don't intersect, but they're not parallel. This would be like, think of a real world situation. If we think of a road as a line and a telephone pole as a line, the telephone pole is next to the road. It doesn't intersect the road, but it's not going the same direction. So it's not coplanar. And they don't intersect. So skew lines, and I'm not even going to try and draw that. Can't really do it in 2 dimensions. But think of that telephone pole next to a road. Those would be skewed lines. Parallel planes are 2 planes that do not intersect. So we've got this image already drawn for us down here. The blue and the green plane are parallel planes. And we also have the 2 parallel lines there. So here's actually a good image. We can see line K and line M. Those would be skewed lines. Those are skew lines. Because you can see where K passes through line N. So you know that M is not going to intersect with K. So those are skew lines, and you can see that they're not parallel, they're not coplanar. Then we need to identify relationships in space. So this isn't in your notes, but we're going to go over it together anyway. So think of each segment in the figure as part of a line. Which line or planes in the figure appear to fit the description? So we have line or lines that are parallel to line CD. So see where CD is. We want lines that are parallel to that and containing point A. So they also need to contain point A. So anything that is parallel and contains point A, that would just be AB. Since it needs to contain point A, AB is the only one that works there. But then for B, line or lines that are skew to CD and containing point A. So we're still containing point A, but going to be skew with line CD. So we can have AG and AH. They both contain point A, and they are skew to line CD. Then looking down at C, we want lines that are perpendicular to line CD and containing point A. So they still need to contain point A, but now are perpendicular to line CD. Point A, they need to be perpendicular. So it would just be line AD. Line CB, we think would probably, well, actually we're not sure that that's perpendicular. So we do know AD would be perpendicular. It forms that right angle, intersects, and goes through point A. Next, we need a plane or planes that are parallel to plane EFG and containing point A. So let's find out which plane EFG is. And then we need a plane that is parallel. So plane EFG is this plane down here on the bottom. We need a plane that is parallel to that and containing point A. So the only one that would be parallel would be the one on top, meaning they don't intersect. Parallel planes. So our plane would be ABC. Then next on your notes, back to the definitions, is a transversal. And a transversal is a line that crosses through two other lines. So specifically, this line is the transversal. Because it passes through two other lines. It is a transversal. Your corresponding angles are angles that are in the same position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to number these angles. We'll say this is angle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if I number each of those angles, so our transversal made a whole bunch of angles whenever it crossed those two lines. Corresponding angles are the ones in the same positions on those two lines. So I could see angle 1 would be corresponding to angle 5. They're in the same position on their given line. So on angle 1's line, it's that top left. On angle 5's line, it's the top left. So those would be angle 1 and angle 5. Other ones, we'd have 2 and 6. Angle 2 and angle 6. And notice they always come in pairs. Angle 3 and angle 7. And angle 4 and angle 8. Those are your corresponding angles. And they come in pairs. Next, the alternate interior angles. So redraw this image next to alternate interior angles and renumber it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We'll pick out which angles are alternate interior. So key word there is interior. So we're going to be working inside the two lines. So just looking at angles 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are inside the two lines. So, and it means opposite sides inside the lines. So opposite sides, we would have 3 and 6 are on opposite sides, but inside the lines. So 3 and 6 are alternate interior. And then 4 and 5. So alternate interior angles. Then we want alternate exterior angles. So back up to our, actually we can use this image down here now. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alternate exterior, so they're going to be opposite sides outside the lines. So we would have 1 and 8. And also 2 and 7. Angle 2 and angle 7. So again, they come in pairs. They're on opposite sides outside the line, so alternate exterior angles, exterior being outside. Then we have consecutive interior angles. They're on the same side of the transversal and inside the lines. So same side of transversal, inside the lines. Let's renumber our angles. Same side of the transversal, inside the lines. So we would have 3 and 5. Angles 3 and 5. And then 4 and 6. Those are consecutive interior angles. So some postulates here. We have the parallel postulate. States if there is a line and a point not on the line, then there is exactly one line through the point parallel to the given line. So if we have a line and a point not on that line, there's exactly one line going through that point that's going to make it parallel to the given line. So there's only one possible parallel line through that point. And the perpendicular postulate is if there is a line and a point not on the line, then there is exactly one line through the point perpendicular to the given line. So again, if we have our line, a point not on the line, there's exactly one line that can go through that point that is going to be perpendicular to the green line. Only one line can go through that point to be perpendicular to the green line. Next, example number 1, we need to identify relationships in space. So think of each segment in the diagram as part of a line. Which lines or line in the diagram appear to fit the description? So first up, A, we need something parallel to parallel to line AB. So line AB is down here. We need a line parallel to AB. Our only option would be CD. CD is the only line that does not intersect and is on the same plane. Next, we need a line skew to line AB. A line or lines skew to AB, so does not intersect, but is not coplanar. So we should be able to see that EC does not intersect AB. It is skew. And also DE is parallel, or skew, sorry, to AB. Next we need parallel to BC. So BC is over on the right. We need something parallel to AD, or to BC it's going to be AD. The only thing that does not intersect and is coplanar. Remember, parallel needs to be coplanar as well as doesn't intersect. Skew is not coplanar. AD. Example number 2. We need to identify parallel and perpendicular lines. So we're going to use this diagram at the right to answer each question. A says, name a pair of parallel lines. So looking at our lines, we need 2 lines that do not intersect with each other. We should be able to find AB and CD do not. They also have the little arrows in the line showing that they are parallel. So our 2 lines would be AB and CD. Next, we need to name a pair of perpendicular lines. Remember, perpendicular lines need to form a right angle. So here we have AC and AB. They intersect, forming a right angle. AC and AB. And then others, because these are parallel, because the 2 blue lines are parallel, that green line also makes a right angle there. So our other option of perpendicular lines would be AC and CD. So either AC and AB or AC and CD. And then our question for C, is line AB perpendicular to line BC? Is line AB perpendicular to line BC. And they would need to explain. Our answer would be no. We cannot assume that they are perpendicular. We don't have enough information. The image is not marked. So, no, it's not marked. Cannot assume. Not marked, can't assume. All right, moving on to example 3. We need to identify angle relationships. Identify all pairs and angles of the given type. Corresponding. We need to list all corresponding angles. So our numbers are mixed around, so we can't just use the same numbers that we had in our definitions in our notes. But corresponding was in the same position along the transversal. So that would be 1 and 3. 8 and 6. 2 and 4. And 7 and 5. Those are all of our corresponding angle pairs. And they are in pairs. 1 and 3 match up together, 2 and 4, 8 and 6, 7 and 5. Next, we need to look at the alternate interior angles. Alternate interior, so alternate sides of the transversal in between, inside the two lines. So 2 and 6. And 3 and 7. Those are your alternate interior angles. Next, we need to look at the alternate exterior angles. So outside the two lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. So 1 and 5. Angle 1 and angle 5. Angle 4 and angle 8. And then lastly, the consecutive interior angles. Same side of the transversal inside the two lines. So 2 and 3. And 6 and 7. Your consecutive interior angles. And then we need to complete the statement with corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior, or consecutive interior angles. So we're going to name what type of angles they are. So go ahead and pause, see if you can do these 4 on your own, and then unpause for the answers. All right, number 9, we have angles 3 and angles 5. Angle 3 and 5. So they are on opposite sides of the transversal inside the two lines. So that would be alternate interior angles. Alternate interior. Then number 10, we have 2 and 6. They are on the same side of the transversal in the same position on the two lines. So those are corresponding. Corresponding angles. Same position on the lines, same side of the transversal. 1 and 7. They are on the outside of the two lines, so exterior, opposite sides of the transversal. So alternate exterior. Then lastly, 4 and 5. They are on the same side of the transversal, inside the two lines. So they are consecutive interior angles. Consecutive interior angles. All right, that's it on the notes. Make sure you do your homework. Have a great day.